What's up? What's up, everybody? This is going to be technically the 3-4 premarital counseling episode because we combined the second and the third one. But then the second and the third one has a part A that precedes that we'll release later on. But anyways, I just wanted to address something up front. We are two individuals that did not follow the letter of the law when it comes to scriptures. We got a comment on Facebook, which was quite interesting, but there isn't a lack of knowledge that we know that we are blending families, and we wanted to share this journey with you guys as we go through the process real time through the premarital counseling. But we just want to make this disclosure known that follow the way God wants you to go when it comes to a man and a woman coming together. We went the opposite because everyone's life path is a little bit different. Huh?
I want to do this over.
Why?
It's not a disclosure, and you wouldn't make a disclosure known. You want to put out a disclaimer, and that is...
Okay, whatever. I just fumbled up the word. So the disclaimer is... man and woman come together, not man and woman go practice, and then you find another man or woman and come together with them.
The practice in this instance is one-sided.
Well, it's not, because we are coming together with children. I might have one up to you, but regardless of the fact, it's best to do it the right way, which is why when it comes to blending families, it can be difficult at times because a lot of thoughts coming from both sides of the family, from us as individuals, and blending that all together are what we're used to doing, accustomed to doing, our normal routine. All of that has been broken and thrown away.
It's not been broken and thrown away. It's been augmented to fit our new situation.
Right.
There are some things that are kept from your practice, some things that are kept from my practice.
Yes.
And now it's our practice.
Yes. So, just in case it was confusing, do the right thing. Abstain from sex. Abstain from shacking up. All of those things. Do it the right way. You date, you court, you establish a relationship, you stay celibate, you get married, you have the kids then.
You pray to God, make sure you're with the right person.
All of those good things. Because that way you're literally building up together. Not, I have these types of experiences. I want you to give me those types of experiences. I'm uncomfortable with that, so I'm not going to try that. All of that confusion and all of that differenceness can cause issues. It could cause problems. What? Say what you gotta say.
You know the fake words. Why?
Because
stop messing up this beautiful language of English.
Anyways, while I'm speaking, it just happens. Words just come out. You literally, as I'm speaking and I'm understanding what it is, I know what it is that I'm about to say, and then when I get to that word, I lose it, and so there goes a made-up word. Just like that.
Okay, so The joys of marriage and parenting are to be shared between two people who have built that life together with God's blessing, not the way we're doing it.
Yes. So for those who did not follow that path, we're trying to show how it is that we're working through those things together. Learning more about each other, because I think I said it before, there's different levels or different types of people as you change from one relationship to the next.
You actually didn't say that on a video that was actually during the last premarital counseling.
I did say that.
So
okay.
It wasn't actually to the village.
Oh, well, sorry. So, proper introductions. Now that you brought them up.
Hello, village. As he said, this is supposed to be our premarital counseling number 3, part 2.
3-4. Defense.
I don't understand how it's 4 when we haven't had 4.
Well, because we kind of combined one.
One had its own.
2 into 1.
2 and 3 were together, but this is the second half of 3 because we couldn't finish it.
But 2 and 3 has a preceding one that we're going to be releasing later.
There's no premarital counseling.
We'll talk about it later.
Sometimes we are not on the same wavelength. Excuse us and the side conversation. So anyways, let's just get into what we were talking, or what we
planned to talk about.
Continued to talk about in our premarital counseling from this last session. Go on.
All right.
Get your Bible out.
Yes, we gotta have the Bible. I have too many things going on. So 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1 through 8, and then verse 10. It's pretty much talking about the fact that we do not belong to ourselves.
We will not.
And we will not. And we should not belong to ourselves. We are no longer able to be selfish in our decision making, our mentality, our bodies, everything. So I belong to her when that day comes, as again, this is our journey, and this has been titled by our pastor, Pre-Marriage Counseling. So this is understanding. We're not speaking as though we're married today, because we're not.
We are not.
So my body, the husband belongs to the wife, and then the wife belongs to the husband. And the thing is, we have to maintain, what does it say there?
It says sexual purity in the relationship.
Sexual purity in the relationship. So when I read it,
when you read it?
Yes. When I read it, I understood that it is quite a juxtaposition of the two words, sexual purity. But then it further goes on within the relationship. So it's like, how can you be sexual but then pure at the same time? They don't work hand in hand. But in the relationship and where this direction is going, I take it as I'm pure in the relationship when it comes to sexuality between me and her. I'm not sharing myself, my body, with anyone outside of us. So that's how I read, making sure we maintain that, which means we have to do whatever it is we got to do when the time comes or when the urges arise, but it stays between us.
Exactly. So there is sexual purity. For a minute there I was going to say, what? But yes, sexual purity with...
I'm smart.
Just sometimes you gotta count to 10 real quick. No, sexual purity within the relationship, as far as within the confounds of marriage. It is acceptable. Excuse me, you guys. It is acceptable by God. So as long as it continues to be between us, we're okay. We don't step outside of the two of us. As well as we also talked about fasting and praying.
Can I read the scripture? Yeah, can I read it?
Well, I mean, you've been talking this whole time, but sure, go ahead and read the scripture.
Well, I don't want to do the scriptures that I quoted not its due justice, because I just kind of lumped it up. But you did bring up a specific topic, so I want to give the Lord his credit by speaking his word. Do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement for a limited time, that you may devote yourselves to prayer, but then come together again, so that Satan may not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. That's coming from 1 Corinthians 7 and 5.
Okay, so during fasting and praying, it's not something that we've done as a couple yet, ever. I have personally done fasts and prayers on my own for a length of time for specific purposes.
I'm speaking about me when I do this, y'all. Never wasn't taught, educated, clueless.
So that'll be a new experience for us together. We'll start with something small. But our pastor was just telling us that even though for the most part I'm used to doing them, that it's something that I would tell him about, or if he wanted to do one and he'd tell me about it, and then it would be both of us doing it, or the understanding that, you know, if one of us is unable to do it, that we would make sure that the other person was, you know, we're aware that that is happening, because sex will not be had during the fast to keep, you know, spiritually clean.
Yeah, to be pure.
Pure. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, that was in there. I thought it was interesting though that you've never done a fast.
Never done a fast. I've heard people say Daniel fast probably like 2 times before I moved to LA and started going to Carver.
I don't understand.
Someone explained it to me. I'm not gonna say someone. Mama White explained it to me and I forgot. So I have absolutely no idea. But on a grander scale, Pastor did let me know, because it's directed towards me, that I'm the man of the house and I should lead by example in all facets of life, and including when it comes to spiritual growth. But he did say, and I think that's on the next topic that we talked about, even though we're going to reference back to it, that it is acceptable that the wife encouraged the husband through her actions. So our society has managed to confuse thoroughly the roles of a husband and a wife. So it's not always that I'm right here and she's down here on the somewhat hierarchy in the Bible.
Not always?
Yeah, not always, because there are situations in which the money is on me. I got that. But when it comes to health and making sure people stay healthy, have the right medicine.
No.
You got that.
That's something different. What we're talking about, you're talking about...
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this. Our society has managed to confuse thoroughly the roles of a husband and a wife. And so some people have this forethought that the man is the end all say all. But sometimes the man don't know the direction in which he's going. And so it is okay that the wife express and encourage and make sure.
Well, so my understanding with this is...
Because that's what he brought up.
He brought up with this that if there's something that you do better, which is the money, he's better with money. I mean, he is the money person. So you do better with money. It would make no sense for me to be like, give me your check, let me pay the bills, I'll handle that, when you're the person who does the money. That makes no sense. I am a nurse. I am the health, the sick, all of those kinds of things. So it would make no sense for me to be like, well, you know, I need you to go figure out what kind of medicine everybody needs because so-and-so has this and this and this and this, when I already know what we need to go get. So
yeah, that was part A of his thought.
But he never at any point in time said that.
Said that what?
Said that you aren't the what did you say? The
whole fact is the woman is not restricted to being completely submissive. There are instances and times in which her actions, and she be like, hey, we need to pray, or hey, we should go on the fast, is acceptable. Because that's only going to encourage me to do it because I've never done it before. Because
spiritually we were made on the same level. So
yes, you don't have to go back to
yes,
that.
I do, because there's
hit that last point right there. So I was just bringing that up to say that it is okay. It's not a big deal, and which is why people should not be so entirely confused on the fact that the man sits here, in a sense, and the woman's down here, which we're going to talk about later because that's completely wrong. But anyways.
Yes and no, but we'll talk about it later.
Sexual purity in the relationship therefore leads into intimacy. So lack of intimacy can bring about temptation. And so that's where that last part, when we're going through the fasting, it is necessary, it is needed, it is an obligation that then we come back together again so that Satan may not tempt you, because there is a lack of self-control.
And be it that when we do start fasting, because we will start, and like I said, it is part of my practice, that I have to be understanding that he has not, I've done fast for, literally.
They don't know.
Well, for those who fast, I've done month-long fast where you have one meal a day. Or I've done it where for the whole week there is no eating, it's just water. And then the next week it's one meal. Like I've done some very, what you could consider intense fasting. We can't start off like that. Because that is not something that...
I will consistently fall short of the glory. Like after day one, no.
So I have to remember that, because when I get into, okay, we're fasting, the way he gets with his money stuff, and it's like, okay, this is what we need to do, and he goes after it, that's how I am. But I have to remember and be, what's the word I'm looking for? Come on, telepathy, right? We're supposed to be on the same wavelength.
I have no idea.
I have to be cognizant of the fact that that's not the level he's at, and so we are doing this together. So I can't start off, on level 10. We're gonna start off on level 1. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I am excited to start though.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
as far as I'm concerned, I've been fasting. We just got through talking about sexual purity and intimacy and all that. Been fasting. It's the I don't even know what today is. The 27th?
Uh-huh.
The 20th cannot get here fast enough. Anyways.
Yes. Anyways, so the next part was where we had the husband and wife roles. And so... What?
Nothing. Well, I already told you why I thought this part was funny, because I have
Oh, you want to share?
An idiotic. No, not right now, because we haven't gotten to that part yet.
So as he said, society has confused the roles. In scripture, Jeremiah 17:9.
The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it?
So we have a couple of scriptures, and then this is the part that that made me laugh. So
the very next one, you're gonna go to number 2?
No.
Yeah, we gotta go to number 2, because that's the one that made me laugh. You said if I wanted to share, that's what I was waiting on.
Number 2, Proverbs 18:2. A fool does not delight in understanding, but only in revealing his own mind.
Hilarious. I couldn't help but laugh.
Oh, I laughed too.
Because I have a way of thought and a way of thinking, and I think that is the right way in all things. Just like years ago, which I had posted on our Instagram page, that was quickly deleted. Because you were like, nah. And I said, well, it'd be great to post, because then people are going to be like, what in the world? And then we can shoot a whole episode about it. But forget it. So it says, this is back when I was in my stage of really deep diving and understanding and researching love and things like that. And so there was this hashtag, my mystery woman, that was going that I was putting out there. So that's pretty much what it says. My hashtag mystery woman is my mystery, because our relationship is none of y'all business. A relationship is for two anyways. I'm not sharing her with y'all. She's mine. I'm selfish and stingy. What we want you to know, you will. Hashtag for the nosy ones. So I will post that picture up as I just read that caption there. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious, because when it comes to being a man, being a husband and wife, there should be no shade, literally shade, over the relationship. You should stand proud in the fact that God has created an imperfect being that is perfect for you. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of dumb. But then it did make sense to me at the same time, because there are facets of our relationship that should only be between the two of us. But us being united and together should not be hidden from the world, because I am proud, after so many years, that she has seen the light.
I would love to just interject right now and say that if you, like me, this is a call for action. If you, like me, are tired of him bringing up the 17 years,
I didn't even bring
the
it up.
19 years, it's been 3,000 years. If you're tired, just put a comment, and then, I think if we have a pretty nice consensus, he'll stop. Because me just saying it doesn't seem to be working.
But it's true. It was me being a fool in a sense, and thinking that my own mentality was the best way, not realizing whoever that person is with, if I still have that same mentality, you will feel hidden, rejected,
Would
unknown,
feel?
an apparition.
Would feel?
Yeah, you would feel that way.
You sure you don't want to fix, correct,
No, you would feel that
be
way.
honest
What?
in the way you should have said that
I did say it right.
Which is why I felt
What?
that way
So,
in the beginning.
Isaiah,
Yes.
Isaiah 5:21.
Because that's a semi-new revelation, because in the beginning,
What?
it was just us and nobody needs to know. Nobody was specific, but nobody needs to know. And I remember telling him, like, I feel like you're ashamed. I feel like I'm some kind of big secret. So,
Not a big secret. It was just,
So yeah, it's not that I
You're
would
a
feel
my
I
diamond in the
felt
rough. No
that
one else
way.
needed to know.
Anyways,
Nobody knows.
so when you go back to the roles, he has a point on here. The authoritative man and the feminist woman have confused
The issues of
equality.
equality, which goes back to the fact that society has managed to confuse the roles of a husband and of a wife.
So, biblically speaking, we are equal in God's sight, but the functionality, because he is the head of the household, there is a difference there. So, as women, everyone hears the word submissive and it's like, what? I am still working on my working definition of what submissive is for me, for us in this relationship. But they hear that, and it does not mean that you are less than or less important than your partner, significant other,
Kids acting
spouse.
crazy. We'll be right back. Well, I'll be right back. Keep going.
He'll be right back. So, significant other or spouse, it just means that as God views your household, he expects it to mirror the church and Jesus. And Jesus is first. So he expects the man of the house to set the precedent for how things go. Spiritually, the way the house works, all of those types of things. And so, not so much that he's up here and I'm down here. We are equal in God's sight, but as far as the function of this house, he is the head. And now we're just gonna wait for him to come back, which should be soon. Here he comes.
Why are you smiling?
There
What did you
he
say?
is.
What did you say to the village?
I just told them exactly what you were hearing me say.
I didn't hear you say nothing.
I said that we are equal. It's just when it comes to the functionality,
You talked about this,
you
right?
are the head of the household. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't move forward. Well, I mean, technically it hits this and this, because positionally we're the same. Functionally,
Yeah. So
You're the
the
head.
authoritative man, why would you, the authoritative man, why would you have the audacity to think that you are above the woman in all things? That your say-so is the final say-so, when it clearly states that we were created both equally, same in nature, intellect, essence, and standing before God. That's in the first book of the Bible. chapter 1.
Yeah.
In the 27th verse. You all, how do you get all the way to Revelations and forgot that y'all was created equal? Makes no sense. Man and woman are all one in Jesus Christ.
I can't keep reading the whole thing.
Like, come on. This is. So that was my big thing. My takeaway is like, why would any man have that thought process? Why do you keep taking this?
Because I don't have my glasses on and I can't read it over
Neither do
there.
I.
But you're not even looking at it. You're talking to the village. So talk to the village so I can look.
That is
selfish.
No.
What did you need to look at it? You were literally talking to the village.
No.
Yes, you were.
This man, get it together. Jesus. We're all together. We're all on the same page. The whole big picture is that it's really a balance. It really is a balance between everything. You have the man and you have the woman. We're right here. But what holds and what is that thing called?
Balance?
No, the thing that
Scale?
tips. The scale. Back in the old days, the biblical days, when they drop the thing, you make sure it's equal.
It's a scale.
Well, the scale. All right. So you got the man and the woman should be on the equal playing field. But the one that's even holding this up together is the Lord. He's the one that created the structure to ensure that we were equal and on the same page and in balance. It's just a consistent, equal exchange between the both of us. Something I'm not good at, she's gonna pick up the pieces. Something that she's not good at, I'm gonna plug that hole up. It's just that simple.
And because of who we are as individuals, not only am I picking up pieces and him plugging up holes, but we're also going to communicate and inform and teach each other. So not to say that what I'm lacking in, I'm just going to continue to lack in just because he's always going to take care of it. He'll take care of it, but he'll also teach. So at least that way I can be somewhat helpful.
Yeah.
Like with the finances. He's taught me a lot. I've gotten a lot better. Not that I was really bad, but I've gotten better because now I have the knowledge.
Just like in the movie, we're huge fans of Marvel. We've been watching the whole series on Disney Plus. Thank you so much, Disney Plus, for even coming up with the idea. So in the movie Black Panther, it was T'Challa's dad that pretty much said, even though it's on two different levels, you have father and son, but it's still the same thing in which you're referring to, teaching. He said something along the lines of that, if I did not prepare you for the time in which I would not be here, then I have not done my job as a father.
Yes.
So if I'm the one that handles the money 24/7, make sure all bills are paid, everything's invested correctly, so that way when the time comes, the family's taken care of, and she knows nothing, and I just all of a sudden I'm out of here, I'm gone.
Because time on this earth is finite.
Yes, it is. Just like the resources are finite, Thanos. But anyway, so if I don't do my, I'm sorry, I had to throw it in there. We're watching the movie.
I know.
So just like, if I don't do that, then that ultimately leaves the family at risk because she has no clue. She has no idea how I've set everything up. Yeah, anyone can pay bills, but that's present day. But everything that I do is focused on tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So if she doesn't know how I'm manipulating what's coming in now for tomorrow, tomorrow would be untaken. It wouldn't be taken care of at all.
Right.
So the whole objective for me is to not only handle it, but instill, because if you're paying attention to everything else we're putting out there, you know about Wilson Financial. Mm-hmm. So the purpose is to educate and to teach. That is the purpose in which I feel, and I've been led to by God, to reach people in that way.
Did you direct that to me like I don't believe you or something?
No. I'm just talking about the purpose of the business. That's where it all came from. Because I never thought I would be a teacher. I used to joke around my dad. Nope. I'm not no teacher, but look at me. I'm teaching.
A teacher in a different aspect.
Yeah. So if I don't do that, that means if I'm feeling that God has channeled that that gift, that wisdom, that skill to me, and I'm not going out teaching everybody else, more importantly, the person that I live with every day, time I'm spending my life with, I have not walked in my purpose that I feel God has designed for me. So everything that I do, I got to show her how to do. Everything that she knows how to do, she continues to do that because I suck at health.
No, because he refuses to try. It's not that he sucks. He makes a conscious decision to say
daily.
No.
Daily.
And that's it. There's no tries, just no. So we're working on that, and I'm praying about that, and that might just be about our first fast. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyways.
Because we have to be students of each other, learning each other, weaknesses, so that we can build not only from the solid foundation, but a wonderful, magnanimous legacy to pass along to the 3 people who should be asleep in their room. Probably not, but should be. Anything else you want to add on there?
No, the rest of it we didn't touch on, but it's something that we've talked about with our crew, and that is pretty much the pyramid scheme. It talks about it right there. When you're talking about functionally unequal, the only difference between us is the authority figure that's in the house. And just because you're the authority figure doesn't mean, once again, you're the end-all, say-all. There is authority in letting someone who's better at doing something do it, because that's self-checking yourself. I'm not self-checking you, or you're not self-checking your wife. You're self-checking yourself and be like, look, this is something. Even though I'm the man, I'm the man. I have the authority. Whatever, however you feel, it's the fact that you're humble enough and realize that, look, you got to take care of this, because every time I try to cook this chicken, I burn it. Every time I try to cook this chicken this way, it's burnt. But it's so good. When you cook it, I keep trying, I'm failing. I'm forcing the kids to eat it because I made it. I'm the man. That's dumb. Just let her cook it, and then she'll do what she's supposed to do, which is prepare that meal and teach me the right way in which to do it.
Right.
So you have God who's at the top. We joked about it before that he's number 0.
He's unnumbered.
But he's unnumbered. He's above all. He's greater than the number. It was all jokes.
He just is.
But God is and shall always be. And then it's the wife, husband, however you're looking at it.
Yeah, whoever you
Then
are.
you got the kids.
And then everybody else.
And as we say God, well, of course, we're referring to Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. All 3 of them, all together, which is just so happens to be her favorite number. And my favorite number times 2. So that way you guys all know. Because she said once before my favorite number was 3, and that wasn't true.
It is. 33 has 2 3s in it, so it's 3. Your favorite number is 3, right? 33, 3, and 3. 3. Thank you.
No.
Like I said.
But when you say it, you don't say 3-3. You say 33.
Well, I just add my 3 to your 3, so it's
Oh my
3.
gosh. Anyways.
333.
Then after that, you have the children. And then you have
everybody else.
I know, but in my head, it's the kids, then the family, and then, because I'm going off of this, and then the church members, employees. That's how I like it. Which we will talk to the pastor about, because this is something we haven't discussed. But I just wanted to share my thoughts on there, so that way you guys have it, and if I need to go ahead and recorrect that frame of thinking, I can come back and be like, Pastor said, this is the way in which and why.
Yes.
Because again, I'm not a biblical savant. I'm not. I'm still learning.
Neither am I.
Still trying to pull different messages, words of encouragement out for myself and the family. So yeah, that's pretty much what we talked about.
Oh, this is important.
What is?
Following this diagram, pyramid diagram glorifies God, which is the purpose. We are here to praise and glorify God.
Oh, well, yeah. That is all the way at the bottom of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Order of authority has everything to do with love. Without love, marriage can't work without love. We gotta have love for each other. But before we can have love for each other, we gotta love within ourselves in direct connection to God. Humility, as I talked about earlier, you always gotta be humble, as the church say. And then that is the goal, to always exemplify God, just like in our very, very first one that we talked about. In understanding marriage and God's design for marriage and following that is giving glory to God.
Yes.
So yeah,
which is why we've been on this special self-defying, or I should say flesh-defying fast.
Yeah. It's been tough.
Praise
really tough.
God. Praise God for the strength.
Yes, that is true. But we want to be.
He placed them.
Oh yeah, and
in our
and
lives
the crew
to help.
did places in our life to help us. But again, if we're not being honest, open, and transparent in our communication, what do we even have the podcast for? So, as we all know, sinners, we sin, and there are times when we fall short of the glory of God.
It has happened.
And we did fall short once before. So, again, it is a struggle. It is tough. Of recent weeks, we've been good. So before then we was good, and then we had a tough week, and not tough week, but it was.
We gave in to
temptation. We slipped and dipped in that someday in that week.
You need to
but then we got back.
Those.
I like it.
But it's
they know of it. I've said slip and dip before.
I know.
They have to get the noise. So they already know this stuff is coming and it's going to be consistent.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar, but the Love Hour, they have, great podcast talks, and they talk. I'm throwing this in there just so you understand why it's going to be consistent. They had all these great informational people, and was it last year they were doing this whole thing about taking the stigma out of sex? And so
it was February last year.
They had all these people come in, and they had somebody come in, and they talked about higher desire, low desire partners, and how those things have to work. And in doing all of our research, aka listening to what they were saying, we are both high desire.
It's a competition.
Yes. So I just put that out there so that when he says this is something that's going to come up, it most likely will, because we are both high desire.
Something that will come up.
Because you're talking,
I'm talking about the vernacular of slip and dip.
And the vernacular of slip and dip has to deal with
anyways
desire. So I'm just letting y'all know now that it will probably come up for sure again. Mm-hmm. Especially after the day.
After the what?
After the day. 2020.
Oh, okay. I was about to say for a second.
Not today.
No, you said after the day. So I'm just thinking there's no way on God's green earth those R&B songs were true, because there's no way it's going to be a whole day.
Oh, God.
After the day, what? I don't have ain't enough blue chews out there. There's something wrong with me.
Yeah, we have to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I'm not trying to have I think I love my wife incident.
Oh, jeez.
Pop the Viagra and is on full salute.
No.
No.
I meant after that specific date.
After the marriage date.
Yes.
February 20th, 2020. Got it. Clear in my head. Understand.
All right. Anything else? I know. Closed the book.
Is there anything else?
No.
Go ahead and close us out then. You didn't close the book.
Well, that was the end of...
You said let the church say amen. You closed the Bible. So go ahead.
Because that was the end of the page. We didn't go any farther.
We sure didn't. So go ahead and close it out then. We done.
Well, That is, what is this? Marriage counseling 3-4.
Pre-marriage counseling.
Pre-marriage counseling 3-4
defense.
Where's the defense?
Football. Just if we have any football watchers or listeners, they understand 3-4.
Is it?
I don't know. The journey is interesting. The journey is fun. I hope you are enjoying it just as much as we are. And I hope anything that we're saying, anything that we're saying and everything that we're sharing is helping somebody.
Yes. That's the purpose. Especially
with the blending families that are out there. It can be a challenge, even if you did it right way scripturally and you still ended up blending a family later on in life, it's still a challenge. It's still difficult. So,
blending, period, is difficult.
Yes, it is.
Cultures and religions or lack thereof. Because that's something else we talked about.
Yeah. But the beautiful thing about that is, just like a box of crayons, is everything's different. But when you put
a box of chocolates.
No, just like a box of crayons, you have different colors, different shades. But when you bring it all together, it does, when you blend the colors together to put forth an image, it does become a masterpiece. So, God is good. I know.
I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
I know where you're going with that. So
that's okay. When we watch back on this, we'd be like, gem dropped. But anyways, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. You can always comment, subscribe, like on the Facebook, on the YouTube, on the Instagram. But yes, please do share with everyone. We're trying to reach as many people as we possibly can, trying to uplift and encourage those who are going through this type of transition, this type of change, becoming one together. And
even those who may have gone through and never had an area to speak, a platform to talk about it, because this is new to us. So if you've gone through, please
email
LifeWithQFLO @gmail.com,
and we'll bring you on.
Advice.
We want you to come on.
Helpful hints, whatever.
The whole thing is spotlighting all people who are blending families in one form or another. You can come and sit right here with us or at your house, and we just talk about different topics and how we work through it. Because we are young, you may be older, more seasoned, and we want that information and knowledge to help us. Because like if you've seen the proposal video, trying to turn that 19 into 91. But we have these wonderful shirts here. We did update the logo, so this was the older version, so we updated
This is the original, which is ridiculous because we just started.
Yeah.
But this is the original.
Yeah, but you guys can't have it. But when the merch officially drops, we're going to do a t-shirt. The girls are designing it, so it'll be the QFLO shirt, hat, and one that we're going to do together for the village. So if you want to be a proud supporter of what it is we do, you can go ahead and purchase all three or just the village. So as soon as that merch drops, we will get that out there to you. We're still, as I said, the girls are doing the designing. They said they want to be a part and do. So we're going to let them do what they do and see what they come up with. So
I've looked at some of their stuff. It's actually pretty nice. I was surprised, genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
So
it's coming out soon. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching.
One more time. Since we did a lot of talking, let's just tell them where we can be reached there. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Facebook, Instagram, the YouTube, as it's been told.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe, YouTube, notifications so that you know when things come out. LifeWithQFLO @gmail.com.
Yes.
Life with the letter Q, FLO @gmail.com.
Ah, man.
Okay?
My armpit itch. Kind of itches. My bad, y'all. But speaking of pits, there is also power in transparency. So I want you to go ahead and support the cats. They are our brother and our sister, and the things that they are doing is powerful because again, there's power in being transparent. So Power in Transparency podcast, we'll have that link there for you. Please go ahead and support them as well. And
but I thought it was the power in testimony.
They be having testimonials up there too.
I know.
So go ahead and watch.
Go
ahead and subscribe. We'll drop that YouTube link right there for you guys, and then from there you can find them on Instagram, Darnell and Dominique, right there on Instagram and on Facebook as well. But we'll drop the link for their YouTube so they can get their views up. So just like we want to get our views up to reach as many people and hopefully start monetizing. We got bills to pay. On both, they got bills to pay, we got bills to pay, plus 3 back there in the room now.
This is some big
so all help is good help. So thank you guys. Much love to you.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.